Hello and welcome to my new YouTube channel, which I'm calling Keep Calm, It's Just a Lump. I'm assuming that that is not a spoiler to anyone. And I wanted to do this, and I wanted to explain to everybody why I'm doing this channel. Because there's a few reasons for this. And look, I think the first one for me is I just want to keep everybody informed in terms of what's happening. I've had some amazing, messages of support and everything else, and everybody just wants to know that I'm doing okay. And I love everybody for that, and so I really need to keep everybody up to date. But I don't want to have those repeated conversations. So that's why I thought, hey, what a great idea. Let's set up a YouTube channel, and that way I can sort of give weekly updates to everybody. And also to do it by video, you can actually see my face and see how I'm reacting to this. I think, even the name, I don't think anybody is surprised with Keep Calm, It's Just a Lump. That's just the sort of person I am. But I need to be really careful that I'm also not downplaying this. But, I do worry about everybody who loves me, because this is something that you never want to hear about from one of the people that you do love. So I want to sort of just give updates on what's happening with doctors, treatments, all of that sort of thing, how I'm feeling. I'm not wanting to give advice to people who are going through breast cancer, because everything is a really personalized journey. And for me, I feel this is really personal as well. So, I am grateful for people who sort of give me their insights, but I really need to do this myself and do it my way as well. But it also might help people understand what sort of support I want from them, but also what sort of support I don't necessarily want as well. So the first episode I'm calling I Found a Lump, and this is just to give people who may not know what the background was with this. So I think it was in about September. I just randomly found a lump in my right breast. I'm terrible at checking, so I am exceptionally grateful that for some reason that night I decided somehow that I was going to just have a check and found the lump. So obviously that was a little bit confronting. You sort of just don't know what you're going to do, because initially I was like, is that a lump? Isn't it a lump? And it had a little bit of pain there as well. And so, I knew it was something that really shouldn't be there, but I sort of just didn't even know what to do about it. I mentioned it to a couple of people. No one seemed too concerned about it. I think, the fact that I'm a 54-year-old woman going through menopause, I think a lot of us in this era of our life are lumpy in places that we necessarily weren't lumpy in before. So, I certainly didn't see people freaking out about it. I'm not even sure anyone told me I should go to the doctor, which was a little bit odd, but anyway. But I did go to the doctor probably 2 weeks after I found it. I wasn't even rushing. I wasn't panicking. I wasn't, sort of doing anything. It was just something that was there. And I remember saying to one of my friends, it's a little bit painful. And they said, oh, is that because you've been touching it all the time? I must be the biggest denier in the world, because no, as soon as I found it, I didn't even want to go anywhere near it. I think I was worried that I was going to disrupt it and it was going to get bigger if I poked it too much. So, I certainly didn't do that, which is probably quite unusual. So in my head, I wasn't worried about it. I'm very much a pragmatic person, that I don't worry until I need to worry. So I booked an appointment with the GP down the road that I see, and she obviously did an examination and said, yep, there's definitely something there, which means we should get it checked out. So that was sort of the beginning of everything. So she referred me to get a mammogram and an ultrasound. And so I learned a few things from that as well. One, you can't go to breast screen, because they will only take you when you're due on your 2-year rotation. And interestingly enough, I had a mammogram in February this year, February 2025, which showed nothing up. So that was probably a good thing. I felt a bit safer around that, considering it was only about 6 months later that this lump had appeared. But the second one was the place where I was referred to. When I rang them, this is, mid-September, the earliest they could get me in was December. Now, tip for people who find a lump and go and see their GP, do not ring the ultrasound place yourself. Get the doctor to get you in for an appointment, because I do know now that if the referring doctor asks to get you in, they will find a space for you. I was actually lucky because I was about to go up to Rockhampton in the next couple of weeks after that, and my lovely EA Sharon rang around a few places in Rockhampton at the same time, and she managed to get me into IMED at the Mater in Rockhampton. So I was exceptionally grateful for that. And it was probably the first time ever you could get into somewhere in regional Queensland quicker than in the southeast corner. So I think it was probably, again, luck, and I was very grateful because the day I got in was the first day they'd opened up Wednesdays to do mammograms and ultrasounds. So that's basically where it all started. Again, as I said, pretty calm about it and whatnot. So that's my first episode. I found a lump, and next episode I'll update you with what happened next.